Well, hey everybody, welcome to Living Power, your online Bible study where we are walking through the Bible in a year. This is April 10th, and we are in the book of 1 Samuel. We just started yesterday, and we'll be in the book of 1 Samuel for about a month. And this is really great reading. I love this book because it's just a history book. It's filled with intrigue and drama. It reads very well, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. We're going to talk about the monarchy, the kings, the leading up to the building of the temple. We'll get into the reign of David in a couple weeks. And we actually start talking about David as a young boy this week. So it's just very, very interesting. It's fascinating. Today's lesson is entitled The Request for a King. And today we're going to talk about Israel wanting a king to lord over them. And tomorrow, I'm really going to get into some background and some reasoning for that. But today, we have a story to tell, and it's a very interesting story. So what I want to do is go back to yesterday's reading just a little bit, and that'll bridge the gap to today. And I want us to watch the ark. We need to keep our eye on the ark. And so it makes a move today, the ark does. And if you've never read this story about the ark defeating one of the Philistine god, the god Dagon, today is a great read for you. So let's go back to yesterday for just a minute, and I'll recap what you read. Remember at the end yesterday, the Philistines are at war with the Israelites. So the Israelites say, let's go get the ark, let's take it from Shiloh, get it out of the temple, and we'll bring it into battle with us. Well, that wasn't a real good idea because just because the ark was there didn't necessarily mean God was with them, and that's how they interpreted it, but that's not really the case. And so they brought the ark, and it didn't really help them anyway. The Philistines defeated them, captured the ark, and all of Israel heard about this, that the ark has been captured, and it really caused the nation to mourn as they should. So we read at the end yesterday that the ark was captured, and the two sons of Eli, the two wicked sons that we talked about yesterday, were killed. So, very interesting. So, today, the news comes back to Eli, the priest in Shiloh. He is so distraught by it. He ends up dying because he falls and he breaks his neck. And the daughter-in-law, I guess, his daughter-in-law is about to give birth, and she's so upset by it that she gives birth, and she ends up dying in childbirth, so a little bit of a tragedy there. But the Philistines take the ark. What do they do with it? They take it and they take it to this city called Ashdod. And they place it in their temple where they worship this god called Dagon. And I guess they leave it in there and then they come back, I don't know, a little while later. And Dagon, okay, there's the ark, and then there's Dagon, and he's fallen down. Boom. He's fallen down. So they're thinking, what's up with this? So they set him back up again, and then they leave, and I don't know how long it is. They come back. And this time, his hands, this little idol's hands and his head's cut off. And they're thinking, what's up with this? Well, the deal with that is, according to Canaanite mythology, if the gods cut off another god's hands and its hands and its head, that meant that they were fighting, and of course you could tell which one was victorious. So the imagery here was clear for them. They could see that the God of the Israelites was greater than their god Dagon, and that they had fought, and that the Israelites' God had won. So the Philistines took it out of there and took it to the city of Gath, and a plague came. And we think that it may have been a bubonic plague because they actually remember in the story they made the rats as sort of a tribute. So we don't know for sure, but maybe it was because of the rats. Then the Philistines moved it to Ekron. So it's been in the Philistines' possession for about 7 months now, the ark has. And they think, how do we get rid of this? Because they believe that the plague has come because they have stolen this Israelite ark. And so they think, how do we get rid of it? So they formed a test. This was the test with the cows. Now, the deal with the test with the cows is this. This was their desperate way to get rid of the ark. They cast gold rats and probably little people with tumors on them out of respect for God. And they said, we'll go get two cows who just gave birth and have never pulled a cart before. And normally the cows would not want to leave their young. But if they do, and if they pull this cart and take the ark back into the Israelite territory, we'll know that these plagues were caused by God. And we'll just let the cows take the ark back on this cart and give it back to them. Well, what happened? The cows did just that. They took the ark, and when the Israelites saw the ark being pulled, they were overjoyed. Well, 70 men got so overjoyed they couldn't help themselves, and I guess they looked inside. Now, you remember in the Indiana Jones movie when they looked inside the ark, what happened? They saw this sand, remember? And then the angel of death, I guess, came out and killed them all. Well, if the people from the movie had read their Bible, they would have known that no one was supposed to look inside the ark, because back in Deuteronomy it said if anyone looked at the sacred objects that they would die, and that's exactly what happened. 70 people died because they looked inside the ark. And then it says that the ark was taken to the hillside home of this guy, Abinadab, and it was there for 20 years. Now you may be wondering, why not Shiloh? Why didn't it go back to Shiloh? And I don't know exactly. However, I did find a reference that said some excavations that suggested the city of Shiloh was destroyed in about 1050 BC. So it's possible that the Philistines destroyed it, even though our text today doesn't say that that's exactly what happened. But I'm sure they had a good reason. They didn't take the ark back to Shiloh, and it stayed in this hillside home under the care of this person for 20 long years. Now, all right. This is going to be a short lesson today because I went over yesterday and you were so gracious yesterday to stick with it. So today I'm going to give you a shorter lesson. But basically I wanted to tell you about the ark. I wanted to prepare you for tomorrow's lesson about Israel requesting a king. And I want us to look at the end here of reading today. And the scripture that I've pulled out is 1 Samuel 8:7. The people tell Samuel that they want a king, and Samuel goes to the Lord and says, well, what do I do? And God says, do everything they say to you, for it is me they are rejecting, not you. They don't want me to be their king any longer. Now, tomorrow we're going to talk a lot about what that means. But for now, let's summarize today's reading by saying that Samuel is living 10 miles from Jerusalem in Ramah. He is judging in 3 primary cities, Bethel, Gilgal, and Mizpah. He had planned for his sons to be judges, but they are corrupt also, so that's probably not going to come to pass. Israel has victory over the Philistines during Samuel's lifetime, which is important to know. And God's hand was raised against the Philistines through Samuel's lifetime. So, here's the application how we can interpret these events today. Remember, the daughter-in-law lost her baby when she heard that the ark was captured. Her husband was killed in the battle, and then, remember, Eli fell over dead also. She saw this as bad news, total disaster. But I believe God was using this time to turn this dark era into hope, because hope is coming. And he is going to eventually raise up a king to lead Israel, and it will be a glorious kingdom. A glorious kingdom is coming, and it will be exciting for us to watch how that unfolds. 70 men looked into the ark, Eli's sons treated the holy things and the sacrifices with contempt. Do we treat God's holy things, God's holy sacrament, God's holy practices and rituals with respect? Do we treat God with respect as we should? And 3, the Israelites took the ark into battle thinking it would bring them victory. Do you see God as the God of the whole earth, unable to be manipulated, or is He simply a God with you some of the time? Is He simply a God that can only fight your battles some of the time? Well, as we prepare for tomorrow, Israel here is requesting a king. And this is because they're disappointed with the priesthood of Eli and the sons, and they want a new form of leadership. This is not the only reason, and I'll give you that tomorrow. God says, let them have it. Samuel warns it's probably not a good idea, but the time is ripe for a king. So stay with me tomorrow, and we're going to talk a lot about the monarchy, and it will be a good lesson. So I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. It's been my pleasure to be with you today. I'll end just a couple minutes early. Blessings to you. I hope you have a great day. See you tomorrow.